Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data World channel. Today I am here with a new video in MongoDB series, that is filter data with MongoDB Compass. We are into the continuation of video into which we have saw that how to install and get started with MongoDB Compass, what it is, and in this particular video we are going to see what all filter and how it will be better to say that how filter can be applied in MongoDB Compass, since it's a GUI of our whole MongoDB, or you can say NoSQL. So we will be watching all these things related to it in this particular video. So let's get started with the video. So just to give you an overview what we have covered up yesterday, first we have covered up that what is NoSQL. In NoSQL we came up with a tool that is MongoDB, because we are having NoSQL, different type of NoSQLs. Into that we are having, you can see that example of NoSQL, we are having MongoDB. To deal up with MongoDB, we have installed MongoDB Compass. Now what this MongoDB Compass is, it's a GUI with which we can interact with MongoDB server, and with the help of GUI we will first try to do all the things whatever possible, and then we can switch to our shell commands where we will be writing the commands and then doing the things whatever needed. So in continuation to this particular video in which we saw that how to install it and how to get started with it, we are having another video here into which we are going to see this filtration techniques, how we can filter, because definitely if we are having the data into our MongoDB Compass, that means it is visible, whole data is visible to us, but from whole data if we want to filter out few of the data based on some particular conditions as we do in SQL. So in SQL we are using select query. There in select query whatever conditions we are writing, based on that it is getting filtered. Either it can be filtration of row there or selection of column. But in this MongoDB Compass, what we are going to see right now, we will be seeing that how we can filter out the rows. The rows is nothing but in MongoDB it is called as document. So yesterday I have mentioned that what is the analogous terminologies from this SQL to NoSQL. In SQL whatever we are calling table, it is called collection into our NoSQL. In SQL we are having row, but in NoSQL it is the same thing, it is called as document. In SQL we are having column, but in NoSQL we are having fields. So these are the things which I covered up yesterday. Now moving ahead with the basic technique, that is filtration, whatever we are seeing the data into our MongoDB. So before moving ahead with filtration, what I will do, I will create a database, or you may say a table. The table name I will put it as table 2, correct. Create collection. Now as soon as we created the collection, we will import the data from JSON or CSV file. So here we can click on JSON or CSV, from where we are going to take up the data from this Titanic.csv. So this is very famous data set, and where we are using this Titanic data set to move ahead with our whole of the demonstration. So here the data have been imported. Now let me take you to the one by one each of the widgets available over here. First one, we are having the filter widget, into which we will be writing our query to filter out the data. Okay, because this is the normal use case or the practical scenario which came across whenever you are interacting with the data, correct. Now we are having another options, like we are having this view which is the JSON view or the list view. It's basically a list view. Now this is, we are having the JSON view into which we can see the data into the JSON format. Okay, and at last and very convenient thing we are having, that is table view. This is now giving you a feel of SQL itself. That means it seems to be, or it is showing you just like the structured data. Okay, now when you want to update the data, you can click on edit document. Now what this document is the row in this particular in terms of SQL. If you want to update any of them, so there we were using update command, correct? But here there is since we are using this GUI, that is MongoDB Compass, it is giving us the direct facility to click over that pencil button, and then you can move ahead with your change into your data, whatever change you want to make. So suppose this 3 is there, if you want to make it 2, you will go ahead with clicking on update, it will be updated, correct? This has been updated now. So this is how we can update the data into it. And then we are having another options, that is click on options. Now in this option we can see many things over here. First filter was already over there, then project, then sort, then collation. Today we are going to interact with filter and sort. In filter we are having multiple commands. I have just taken an example. So if suppose there is something to filter greater or smaller, how we can do that? If we are having equals to, so very basic thing we are having, that is equals. Suppose I will just move ahead with this. So suppose somebody is telling you that from this particular data set you need to filter out those data only which is having survived is equals to 0, because you can see over here that there is only, this is categorical data, this survived is categorical data into which it is divided into 0 and 1. So we are going to just check what all data is having survived equals to 0. So the question comes that this particular thing, whatever we are writing, it is the column name, right? So column name, what are the ways with which we can write the column name? Either you can put it into the double quotes, or else you can remove the double quote. If you will remove the double quote, it will come in red, which is also with which you can put your whatever column over there it is. So survived equals to 0, and then click on find. Hopefully it should give out all the rows whichever you are having the survived equals to 0, correct? You can see over here that it has given all the survived equals to 0. Now we are having another one that is very famous, that is suppose in, if we want to, because there in SQL we were having in operator, correct? Now if somebody tells you that you need to take out all the data from whole of the collection, that this P class either should be 3 or should be 2. So that means it should come between you may say it should come inside each of the elements into this particular array. Okay, so how this in we can apply? We are having there in operator in SQL. Here also we are having in query. This operator is called as query over here. Okay, so here what you can see, we have just put it into the double quotes P class, and then we are defining in. Before in we are putting $sign, and that this in operator, whenever we are using any operator, we will put this particular sign, that is curly braces. Okay, and then 3,2, which is you are telling that you need to take out all the P classes which is having 3 or 2 as the value. Okay, because we are having 1 as well into our data set, so it will ignore others. That means it will ignore the data which is having P class equals to 1. So you can see over here now that whatever data we are having right now, it is having either P class is equals to 2 or P class equals to 1. Okay, Now moving ahead with some other scenario, that is between. So there is, into SQL you are having direct command for between, that is you are using between operator and then it's just getting executed. There is no direct way to do between operator into the SQL over here or the MongoDB. So what we are using? We are using just greater and then greater than and the smaller than thing. Then of course it will come as like the between, that you are telling that age should be greater than 10 and should be smaller than 50. Okay, so if you will pass this, if you will copy this and paste it over here, what you can see that it is getting told that greater than 10 and less than 50. Fine. Since here we in the age, what you can see that age is 2, age is 4. So these things will be ignored. Whatever row having or the whatever document having is 2 or 4 like this below than 10, it will be ignored ideally. So let's find out. Click on find. Hopefully it should result out those data or those documents which is having is greater than 10, less than 50. So you can check it out that all the things whatever there, all the data whatever there are having greater than 10 and less than 50 in the age column or the age field. Okay, so this is how we can deal up with this between. So gradually definitely you must would have been clear now that how we can apply if we need to apply greater than solely and then this less than. After that we are having AND operator into SQL, which is very famous when we are filtering out the data. So AND operator here, how we can use it? So AND operator, there is no AND operator ideally into MongoDB. Here we are using comma. If you will put this particular one, let me take it to the to MongoDB compass first. So now let me make you understand what it is trying to tell. So it is telling you that survived equals to be 0. Whatever data, whatever document which is having survive equals to 0 should be there, along with sex should be male. There should no any female into the sex column or the sex field. Okay, so this is how we are defining AND. Now clicking on find, it is now giving you survived equals to 0, all the rows having, all the documents having survived equals to 0 and sex is equals to male. Fine. Now we are having OR. Now how we can apply this OR whatever we are using into SQL. So if suppose I am just copying this first, copying it to here, what you can see? You can see that first we are defining our OR operator or the OR query into into our this filter widget, and then we are putting up the big braces. After that we are using 2 curly braces inside that. First is this, then is this. Correct? Now when we are using this, what it is trying to tell? That fair should be less than 20 or it should be sex equals to male. So if fair is less than 20, consider those document, or sex is male, then also consider the document. There is no compulsorily that both should be you may say whatever both the conditions are should be met. We are telling that any of the condition, if it is meeting, pull that document out and give it into the result. So when we click on find, we will definitely be seeing the fair either will be 20 less than 20 or sex will be male. So in this particular one we can see that sex equals to female. Why we can see that? Because fair is, if we will scroll right, the fair is less than 20. It is 11.1333 and all. So this is how we can apply OR condition. Now we are having not equals. So for not equals, what we are having? We are having the query as NE. So what we are telling over here, that sex not equals to male. So whatever data, whatever document we are having which is not equals to male, that means indirectly we are telling that all those data which is having sex column as female. So it should ideally pull out all the documents having sex equals to female. Okay. Now we are having at last and the very crucial thing, that is how we can sort the data. If we got the result, how we will sort them, how we will arrange them into ascending or descending. For that, what we can do, we can just use this sort option over here, into which what we will do, we'll just supply this particular one, and then suppose age we are applying, on age field we are applying this sort. It should be 1 or it should be -1. If it is 1, then you are telling that it should be into the ascending format. If it is -1, then it should be into the descending. So when we are clicking on find, let's see what it happens. So here you can see that age has been arranged into the ascending format, correct? What if if suppose there are 2 columns to be sorted upon, so we can definitely pass them into the big braces and is 1 and then comma, suppose p class 1, like this we can pass into that multiple sorting columns into this particular sort option. Okay. And then we are having min, max, average, sum, and then like operators. These operators are over there into our SQL, but these are not applicable into MongoDB until and unless we are coming across with the aggregation. So definitely tomorrow we are going to see how aggregation work, how we can group by the things, how we can aggregate those up, and then how we can apply this aggregation function on top of our group, whatever it is will be created. And this for like operator, because in SQL it's a very famous operation we are performing. So but in this MongoDB there is no like operator or no like query into our MongoDB. For that we are having only alternate way to use the regular expression instead of this like. So this regular expression is definitely a different set of you may say topic, so I'm not touching that out right now, but you must be aware that how we are filtering and what are the common scenarios which come across when we are filtering out the data, and how we can filter out the data into MongoDB. So that was whole about this video, and if you found this video helpful and informative, it's my request to you, kindly like to the video. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for your support. Keep watching and see you in the next video with some other topic. Thanks again.